black magic has me in its spell.
The youth were imbued with light from the crystals. Now enter the portal to return to the surface, light warriors. Your journey starts here. And so, we take this portal, and we're out of there. Straight to the first town of the game, right here. A town we heard about in the prelude. The most important thing now is that we have been imbued with the crystal's power. What does that mean exactly? Well, you may have noticed this slot right here. This here is the job mechanic of Final Fantasy III. If we go ahead and select it, we can select any of our party members, for example, Spade or Heart here. Let's do Heart first. And now we can truly select our classes like we did in the original Final Fantasy. Although before we can do this, we have to remove all of our equipment, which they give us a convenient little option to right here. I do wish the game just kind of double-checked and, oh, you're changing to a fighter, for example. You can wield this stuff anyway, but instead we have to go through all the trouble of removing all of our equipment manually. Anyway, let's go ahead and make Heart here a black mage. And let's make Diamond, which I know it's spelled wrong, there's only 6 characters. Let's make Diamond a white mage. Let's make Club a warrior. And last but not least, let's make Spade a red mage. These are our 4 new warriors of light. You might notice that the Black Mage sprite is directly ripped from the original Final Fantasy, but some of the other sprites have some neat new touches, like the warrior there has a bit more white outline to make it a bit more distinct. We also want to be absolutely sure we re-equip all of our stuff. In fact, in Spade's case, why don't we dual-wield knives, because that is a brand new feature in this game. No longer do you have to have 1 sword and 1 shield in each hand. Instead, you can go for a more offensive kind of approach. We won't have a shield to protect ourselves, but we do double the damage. I really like this mechanic in this game. Although not all of the classes will be using weapons, of course. As you can see, we're walking around as Spade here, which is a brand new sprite actually, in our case, because in the first Final Fantasy I didn't have a red mage. We can hit the select button to change who is our main party member. Although in this game you can't change the order of party members, you can only change whether or not they're in the front or back row. So let's just immediately get the white mage to the back row just for safety. One other thing that's important about the job system, we can actually continue to change our job. So if there's any case where we want all red mages, we can do that and then immediately switch over to all white mages or all warriors or a mix of all of them. Now this is where that other sort of experience comes up, the credits I think they're called, or something along those lines. They are used to help change us to other classes, and if one is drastically different from your current class, it takes more. So in this case, our white mage is very far off from a monk, so we can't exactly change to that on the fly. It'll take a lot longer. Any jobs we currently are or already have been, I'm pretty sure we can change to very quickly. Last but not least, you may also notice the number 1 directly next to each class. That is the class's level. To kind of encourage you to stick with one job, your job will level up with you and thus become stronger and better. It's a bit of an overcomplicated system, I would say. I'm more of a fan of the original. You just pick your class and you move on. But you know what? In this game's case, you can totally get away with that. So, we're gonna stick with these classes. Spade is the red mage, Heart is the black mage, Diamond is the white mage, and Club is the warrior. The one unfortunate thing about this though is that we won't be showing off any of the other classes. You guys won't get to see what it's like being a monk. So, to alleviate that, I have a second save file. And in this save file, we have 4 different characters. Don't worry, I won't be doing like 2 whole playthroughs, but at any point when we unlock new jobs, I'll show them off here. So in this case, we have a monk here. So this is the overworld sprite. And the monk is essentially the black belt of the game. They're best with hand-to-hand combat and generally less heavy equipment. You can also, I suppose, just stick to the Onion Knight if you really want to. Oh, yeah, they're not really worth sticking to, as you can see. So, back in we can talk with some people, and this is where we are actually from in the game. The Parmeni Mountains that surround these lands are ruled by King Sassoon, whose castle is west of here. And that's important. Press the B button to use an item. Try a potion on me. Sure thing. As you can see, we can use items. And, thanks, I feel much better. Take this. And we got some echo herbs, very nice. The elders are waiting inside. Father Don sensed something has awakened within you. I sense what has happened to you, Four. The other elders wish to speak with you. Alright, let's go talk. Father Tapapa, we... I know. I never thought you four would be chosen. Spade, heart, diamond, and club. This was no coincidence. It was the will of the crystal to choose you four. Your hearts have been embedded with light. You mustn't abuse this power. Go forth and seal the darkness. Your journey begins. And off we go. So yeah, we're on some sort of vague quest to seal the darkness, I guess? This game's story is kind of simplistic and not really massive. Again, it's a callback to the original game. Here we have the classic, typical Final Fantasy stores from weapons, armor, and magic. The magic store here is somewhat lacking though. Just a Poisina spell to cure poison. And as you can see, the red mage and the white mage can both learn it. We're just gonna buy one. And we don't immediately teach it to them, instead we get it as an item to then teach to them. In case we switch jobs, you can turn all of your spells into items so they don't go away. And here in the weapons store we have dagger, longsword, some staffs. Let's buy a longsword for our warrior, as well as a couple of daggers. And we can have hearts, hold on to those. It's good to have cure. There's some in the storage ahead. Watch out for monsters on the way. Alright, so ahead we go to find the cure spell. And the old man wasn't kidding. We actually have enemy encounters on this path, even though we're inside a town. In here we go. Hey there. Check the rightmost candle to open a hidden path. On the way back, look up. Okay, so we can do this. And a hidden path opens up. And yeah, in any case, if you pause or you leave the area, it will close. And this is an important thing to remember. In any of these hidden secret paths, which this game has a lot of, if you ever need to get back, just look up and interact to reopen the pathway. This is the storage area the guy was talking about. So we have leather armor, another dagger, a cure spell, more leather armor, and another longsword that we can't really use unless... Club, can you dual wield those? Oh, you sure can. Now we have 26 attack. And I believe this leather armor is also better than the vest. Let's give Spade a dagger, and this cure spell could go to either Spade or Diamond. Let's give it to Spade right now. Because this game has a similar system to the first, where magic has a certain level, and each level has its uses. So, since we have a level 1 magic spell with Diamond, we need to be kind of careful, because we can only learn 3 total. Eventually we can turn them into items, like so. And then we'll be able to relearn each spell, but I don't really want to go through that kind of trouble. Ah, what am I saying? I suppose it's not that big a deal. Any hidden items in here? Oh, found an antidote. Oh, and another one, how about that? I know that this part has been a lot of just explaining how the job system works and kind of just hanging around the starting town, but, you know, we had to have a part like this just so everything was made clear, and so we could continue on. Because now, yeah, I mean, we know how the battle system works, we know there's not a lot of story thrown our way, so it's just gonna be a fun little coast of an adventure.